I made an appointment for a day or two later. It was a Friday afternoon. What I thought I was going to do was to go down, have the mammogram, and then come right back up because I had a party that I wanted to go to. Didn't work out that way. As I was driving down, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I told her about the letter. She said, yeah, you know, I got this letter 2 years ago, and it was nothing. It's more of a nuisance than anything else. And I remembered, I did too. So I really wasn't concerned. I didn't bring anybody with me. Got to St. Barnabas, had the second mammogram. They then told me that I needed a sonogram. They said this was common practice for anybody that got a letter like this. Okay. At that point, the text said that she was going to go show the results to the doctor, and the doctor was going to, and then she was going to come back. When the door opened, the doctor walked in. I knew at that point that there was a problem. The doctor said that he needed to do the sonogram again. At that point, I got very upset, and I asked him what's going on, what's wrong. He didn't have the best bedside manner, but that was okay. He said to me, just please be quiet, I need to do the sonogram. And he kept looking at the screen. And it just was getting me more upset. When he got done, he said to me, you need to contact your doctor as soon as possible, and he'll go over what's wrong. Well, of course, that made me even more upset. So I was shaking at this point. He told me to get dressed and to just wait there. What had happened was he went to get the director of radiology at St. Barnabas because he didn't want me to leave the way that I was. So the director walked in, she introduced herself. She took my hands like this, and she put her hands over mine. And she just kept saying, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So I thought, okay, the doctor made a mistake. This is good. I can leave. Then she said, I'm going to do a biopsy. It will come back malignant. But you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So she did the biopsy. I stayed overnight here because I was in a lot of pain, and I didn't want to drive back late Friday, so I stayed over. I went back up, and I waited. And it seemed like eternity. It was, I think, 3 days. But I did get that dreaded call that, yes, it was malignant. But you see, the reason why she said that I was going to be just fine was because it was stage 1 breast cancer. Stage 1. This really changed my life forever, for the better. Prior to this, I was a fairly negative person. I really took life for granted. It changed me completely. I started eating better, exercising, looking at life so differently. At that point, I had an MRI just to make sure that there was no spreading. There wasn't. Then I met with a surgeon down here, and we talked about the best treatment for me. And what I ended up doing was have a lumpectomy down here. Then I went back up to Saratoga after I recovered, and I met with a radiation oncologist and an oncologist that were recommended from down here, and they were wonderful. They were like my extended family up there. The doctors and their staff just couldn't be nicer. In fact, I just came back yesterday from Saratoga because I had my 6 month, I go every 6 months for checkups, and I won't leave them till they tell me that that I'm fine and can leave, and then I'll just come up to visit. So we talked a lot about, my treatment, and we all decided that radiation was the best thing for me. I didn't need to get chemo. So I had 6 weeks of radiation before work every day, and it was tough being up there by myself. It was very tough, but I made it through. 12 years ago, I got involved with the Relay for Life because I had seen too many people that I knew that got diagnosed with different types of cancer. And I just was mad. I needed to do something. I'd never volunteered before, and I decided that the best thing for me was to see what this Relay for Life was. I decided that I wanted to be the chairperson for the survivorship committee. And I've been doing that the past 12 years, except for last year when I switched committees. I just was in such awe of survivors and how they handled something, no matter what stage it is, handling this, and the strength and the dignity that they had. I wanted to give back, and that's what I did. When I got my diagnosis, I contacted the Cancer Society and I said, I just can't believe this, that, you know, all these years I've been the chairperson and now I have this disease. And the director at that time said, because of the years that I spent around the Cancer Society, I knew how important early detection and screening was. And maybe that's why it came back stage 1, and thank God, nothing worse. The year after I was diagnosed, the first relay, I was still a committee chair. It was very, very hard for me. You see, I had watched all of the survivors put on their purple shirts. I gave them a medal, and I watched them walk that survivor lap. Now it was my turn. I tried to hide it, didn't do very well at that. Another chairperson, Bonnie, came over to me, and she saw how I was struggling. She said, it's okay to wear that purple shirt. Then she put the medal on me, and she said, I am going to walk the survivor lap with you because I don't want you to be alone. Being at a cancer event, this is the type of people that you meet. People that care. People that will never, never have you be alone or feel alone. Very special people. In conclusion, if I have made one person here who has been putting off getting any type of screening, whether it's a mammogram, a colonoscopy, a dermatologist screening, and you pick up the phone after this breakfast and you make the call, then this is all worth it. I plan to celebrate many, many more birthdays. And I believe it's my faith in God and early detection that saved my life. My name is Ellen, and I'm a relayer. Thank you.